You see these two words, ani hu, aleph nun yod, hey vav aleph. Two little all-important words. With these two words, the Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach made a self-revelation that he was indeed the promised King Messiah. And in the Orthodox Jewish Bible, which you can look at on your computer screen or your phone, afii.org/capital O, capital J, capital B .pdf. The Inquirer said, I have da'as that Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach is coming, the one being called the Messiah. When Rebbe Melech HaMoshiach comes, he will proclaim to us everything. Then Yeshua says to her, Ani hu, I am he, the one speaking to you. Now this translation was done specifically for Lubavitchers, using ultra-kosher holy language and insider Chabad language to make the scriptures very clear. There are many prophecies about the Mashiach in the Tanakh, that he's going to crush the head of Hasatan, who will bruise his heel. And then when you read Isaiah chapter 9, you see that he is El Gibor. He's not an ordinary man. As a matter of fact, in Daniel, the three young men who are Daniel's friends, they tell Nebuchadnezzar that they would not, under any circumstances, pay Lamed Het, the idols of Nebuchadnezzar. This is an Aramaic word that means worship as deity or serve as deity. But then, just 4 chapters later, all peoples, including Daniel and his 3 friends, will pay Lamed Het, serve as deity, worship as deity, the Bar Enosh when he comes on the glory clouds to the Atik Yomin. So the Mashiach is not an idol, but he is Elohut. Now there are many other references. He has to be born in Beit Lechem. He has to come at a certain time before the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. Daniel chapter 9, verses 25, 26, 27. It says, the Ha'adon that you seek will suddenly come to his temple. He is Adonenu, Morenu, Moshienu. In Psalm 22, his piercing is described. They pierced my hands and my feet. In Isaiah 53, we see an exchange. Just like Boaz comes to make an exchange, he will be the new husband, but he will raise up sons to Elimelech and Malon. So he will give them life, but they will give him their death. In the case of Elimelech, he sinned by leaving Bethlehem and then going into a pagan land where his sons married pagan daughters, and they all 3 died, leaving Naomi as a widow. But there's an exchange in Isaiah 53. We thought he was accursed of God. He was wounded for our transgressions, but he gave us his righteousness. My righteous servant shall justify many. So he justifies us, but we give him our sins, and he carries them away like the scapegoat of Yom Kippur. Like a lamb is led to the slaughter, he dies on Pesach with the Passover lambs. And Elimelech vicariously is raised up in his Redeemer. And that's what we are, because on the third day he will raise us up, it says in Hosea. And there are many other references, but the actual name of the Messiah is given in Zechariah chapter 6, verse 11 and 12, where the namesake is projected forward to the name target, in this case, MOSHIACH. And we find out that the Aramaic translation of Yehoshua or Joshua in Ezra chapter 3 is Yeshua, the Kohen Gadol who's raised up from the death of the Golas in a kind of resurrection. His name is Yeshua, the grandson of Sariah, who was executed by Nebuchadnezzar. And there are many other references. So we want to look at these references. We want to look at the Orthodox Jewish Bible. We want to be lifted up in the revelation of the Mashiach, that he actually said that he was the Messiah, to make it very clear to everyone.